Well, hello and Merry Christmas almost to all of you yokers out there. We've got another week and a half, give or take. A little less than 2 weeks. I think it's
10 days.
10 days. 10 days. I believe.
Nine more sleeps until Christmas.
9 more
guys.
sleeps.
But I call today. Now, are you one of those people, Seraph, when you wake up and you don't count today, even though technically you still have to go through the entire day? I know people like this, but if you don't, I want to make my argument here. If it's Christmas Eve and you don't count the day, that means there's 0 days till Christmas, but you still have to count Christmas Eve. So what do you do at that point on Christmas Eve? Do you count there's only one day twice in a row?
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. You got to count every hour. Listen.
Yeah. I usually do it based on like what time of the day that I'm like waiting for or something like that. If I am. So like if I'm waiting until like an evening on one day, then like I wouldn't say it's 1 day away until the evening of the previous day.
Like an evening when a certain character might come out?
What time are they doing that thing? Is it evening?
I don't know. Usually it's 9 o'clock.
I know they announced it.
We'll talk about nobody even knows what we're talking about right now. Maybe
nobody knows. I mean,
possibly.
We're just talking about whatever right now. But guys, as we speak, there's a Nintendo Indie World showcase going on. So I've got that up over here on the side. I'll be keeping an eye on that in case there's anything interesting. We may see some cool games getting ported to the Switch. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. Right now, it looks like there's just this little game about miners, and
they started on time.
Almost kind of like Bomberman. Oh, it's Spelunky 2. You know, I thought it kind of looked like Spelunky, but I didn't know enough about Spelunky to say whether or not. So Spelunky 1 and 2, and now there's cats fighting. This looks savage. Oh my gracious! It's literally like a cat fight simulator. This is great.
I don't know if my wife is hitting the door or if my cat is. So I will be right back.
This is fantastic.
You keep talking about the cats.
There's literally cats fighting. Wow. And they have like bubbles. This is actually cat fight simulator. How could this be? That's amazing. But guys, we have some amazing stuff to talk about today. We have the Game Awards coming up. Or not coming up.
Take over.
All right, dude. So we have got the Game Awards that just happened. PJ Buzz, yes. Game Awards that just happened last week. We have many things to talk about there. There's lots of stuff. We have The Last of Us 2 winning like 7 different awards or something like that. We have Arc 2 featuring Vin Diesel, because why not? We have the good old Sephiroth reveal. We've got all sorts of other things to talk about there. And then another topic that I found, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo unite on new set of safety principles for online gaming. How about that? Wow, friends. All right, we're going to get rolling into it. Let's go. Excellent. Well, I believe we will go ahead. Let's see, something we can start with while Bos is not here with us. Okay, I'll talk about this. I'll talk about It Takes Two. This was a game. Seraph equals Sephiroth. No, this was a game that that was shown off and announced at the Game Awards called It Takes Two. Words are hard. And I thought it looked really cool. So basically it's this game. It's this like 2-player co-op game. It's only 2-player co-op. So it's one of those kind of games. And it's about this couple that gets turned into dolls, and then they have to like solve puzzles and like go through obstacles, all the while like working out their relationship issues apparently, so that then they can get turned back into humans. So I just think the premise is amazing. It looks super cute. It actually looks like a really good game too. There was like this like talking book that was funny. They showed like a few of the parts of the cutscenes, and it looked very, very fun, very fun. So I'm looking forward to that. I wrote down some other games that I am looking forward to. One of which was a really cool dragon fighting game, like basically like Rogue Squadron, but dragon riding instead, basically. So it's called Century Age of Ashes, and it's in beta right now. So I'm trying to get beta access. I like signed up via Steam or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. And it looked really, really cool. You just fly around on dragons and you just fight each other. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. So looking forward to that. A few other games that I saw that I'm looking forward to. We got Open Roads, which was a really interesting game, art style wise, because like the characters were in like this almost like anime style, but then like all of the environment was more of like a more realistic kind of cell shaded look. So it was very, very interesting. Looked really cool. Crimson Desert. Hopefully I remember bring this back up when Bos comes. But it looked like a really cool MMO that basically looked like New World, but actually good. Now, maybe you enjoyed New World if you played it during the beta at all. I thought it was okay. It wasn't like amazing or anything. I think it could definitely get a lot better. But Crimson Desert looked very similar, but also a lot better. The combat looked better. The environments looked more interesting. So it looked really, really cool. Looking forward to that. Let's see. There's a few other ones I wrote down, but I don't remember a whole lot about them. There was that Moana game called Tchai, 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 something or other. Yeah, it wasn't actually Moana, but it reminded me of Moana. It was like a little Moana looking girl, and she could apparently like possess objects or animals for some reason. So she like became a coconut, I think, and just started rolling around. It was very strange, but it looked cool. It looked cool, friends. So those were some of the games that I saw that stuck out to me that I want to keep track of. So, and then of course we'll jump into this. We had Vin Diesel in Arc 2. Now this one really kind of made me sad, because we didn't know it was Arc 2, right? When this cinematic trailer started playing, maybe you saw it. And it almost had like a Horizon Zero Dawn kind of vibe to it. But there was like these tribal people, and one of them was Vin Diesel for some reason, and they were being attacked by some like weird guys, and there were dinosaurs, and then they ran away, and boom, Arc 2. And I was like, what? And like probably like 3/4 of the way through it, I was like, if this is Arc DLC, I'm gonna be so sad, right? Because now I think I've talked about Arc on YokeTalk before, but maybe if I haven't, or maybe if you've forgotten or missed it, I have very strong opinions about Arc, because I have played it a little bit, not a lot, but I do own the game and I have played it a little bit, way back in the day. So maybe it's gotten better, but I kind of doubt it. But basically it's like a survival kind of game, with dinosaurs, sounds cool. But the problem is the game has a lot of issues. Like there's a lot of like really weird bugs and like a lot of things that could just be improved. There's performance issues, all that stuff. There's probably a lot they could do to just improve the game in general. But instead of like actually working on the core of the game, the developers seem to just want to release DLC after DLC after DLC after DLC. And these are paid DLCs. They're like complete like new sections of content that you only get if you buy the DLC. And it's just like the same broken system as far as I know, but with like a different set of dinosaurs and like a different environment. So like, after a while, I kind of saw that and I was like, okay, I kind of see where they're going with this. They don't really seem to be very interested in working on the game as a whole. They just kind of want to release DLC. That's my 2 cents on Ark. So I was very, very disappointed to see that this was Ark 2. Almost makes me more disappointed that it was Ark 2 instead of like a more Ark DLC, because I feel like I think they did this with Overwatch too. I think companies will, and they did it with Destiny for sure. Some developers will make a sequel, not really because they need to make a sequel, but just because like a sequel in a brand new game will get more hype behind it than a DLC or an update will. So I remember when Bungie first started talking about Destiny, they were like, we want this to be like a 10-year experience. And so when they announced Destiny 2, I was like, what? Like, I thought this game was supposed to be like a 10-year experience. And I think a lot of that had to do with their Activision partnership, and Activision was pushing them to basically make a sequel because, like I said, sequels get more hype, they sell better, yada, yada, yada. So all that. And then what was the other one that I mentioned? I don't remember. But that's what I worry they're doing with Ark 2. So like, there's two different ways you could look at this. You could look at it as like, all right, they're making Ark 2 so that they can like really work on the engine and the core of the game and make it a lot better. Or they're just releasing like the same stuff with reskinned things and it's going to be just as broken, but they're doing a sequel because they want to hype it up more. So who knows? I would love for Ark to get better, and I would love to get into it. I think it'd be really fun if like the game worked a little better and all that stuff. But I would hope that they have good intentions. But I worry that it's just kind of a hey, look at this new game. So there's that. And then yes, of course, Vin Diesel starred in the cinematic trailer, and apparently I found this out after the fact. Apparently he's not just starring in Ark 2 as a character, but he's also working on the game. So apparently, Studio Wildcard is the studio that makes Ark, and apparently he is president of creative convergence for Studio Wildcard and executive producer of Ark 2. That is fascinating. It's fascinating. Very fascinating. So let's see. I think it says a little bit about it in this article. Yeah, so Diesel is reportedly a longtime Ark player, having logged thousands of hours in the dinosaur survival game. He understands the game intimately and is providing direct feedback to the development process, says Studio Wildcard. Diesel is already hard at work reporting bugs in Ark. And then it shows a bug that he reported. So that's kind of funny, to be honest. I mean, I'm not like a huge Vin Diesel fan or anything. But he's fine. Like, and like, I think it's cool that he's not only like doing this, being like a character in the game, but he's actually like working on the game. So I don't know what all his job entails, but that's fascinating. It's fascinating. It's like all those celebrities that started getting into like PC building and stuff. It's just cool. It's cool to see. It's cool to see. So there was that. I guess we'll talk about. Let's jump to this one. Maybe give Bos a little more time to get back. I'm not sure if he will be rejoining us or not. But we will see. I'm trying to give him some time, but also trying to keep the conversation going. So this one, we got Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo unite on new set of safety principles for online gaming. So going away from the Game Awards discussion for a little bit. Half Share podcast, yes. So I haven't actually looked into this too much. But apparently, the way I understand it, it's like not really anything that they've done yet, but it's like they've agreed on this like set of standards for like online safety or whatever. So article from The Verge says protecting players online requires a multidisciplinary approach. The statement, which was posted simultaneously by the three companies, reads, one that combines the benefits of advanced technology, a supportive community, and skilled human oversight. So the principles have been published as increasing number of games like Fortnite, Rocket League, and Apex Legends are crafting crossplay among the different platforms, allowing gamers to play together regardless of which hardware they're using. However, the feature could cause problems if each platform's rules are enforced differently. The new principles should help each console manufacturer follow similar approaches to keep players safe. In the past, Sony had cited potential differences like these as the reason for not allowing PlayStation 4 gamers to play against other consoles. I don't remember them citing that, but that's interesting. Back in 2017, PlayStation Global Sales and Marketing Head Jim Ryan told Eurogamer that the reason the company wasn't supporting crossplay in Rocket League or Fortnite was that the company didn't want to expose its players to online environments outside of its control. And that's fair. That's a fair point. I think I remember that quote. I just don't think I thought of it in that context. So that's interesting. Continues the quote from something. It says, we have a contract with the people who go online with us, that we look after them, and they are within the PlayStation curated universe. This is a quote from the Ryan guy. Exposing what in many cases are children to external influences who we have no ability to manage or look after. It's something we have to think about very carefully. Sony later walked back its position and allowed for crossplay between consoles in the two games. It has allowed other games on its platform to support the feature since then. The new principles come under three main categories: prevention, partnership, and responsibility. Prevention covers allowing players to customize their privacy controls, to promote the existence of these options, and make them easy to use. Partnership, meanwhile, includes pledges to cooperate with other organizations and rating agencies on safety initiatives. Finally, responsibility includes a commitment to be transparent about rules and to make it easy for players to report when people break the rules. This partnership signifies our commitment to work together to improve player safety and ensure gaming remains truly for everyone. Announcement doesn't contain any details about specific policy changes any of the companies are making, but the solidarity is notable in an industry where competition among them is often characterized as a war. So very interesting, Buzz. I was just reading the article.
The final topic that we have.
Well, I'm skipping around. I was trying to leave the good stuff. For you. But the article about Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo uniting on a set of safety principles for online gaming. So nothing has really been done yet, but this has basically been brought about by the increase in crossplay. So something interesting that I found in the article was that that was actually one of the reasons why Sony had not been a fan of crossplay at first, because they didn't want to let players be exposed to things that they didn't have any control over. And I can see how that could get them into a messy situation, legally, I guess, if something ever happened.
Right. But why would they only bring that up now? So
they didn't. They brought it up way back in 2017, the article mentions, when they were against crossplay. That's what they said. Now, I think I remember this quote, is what I was saying earlier. I remember this quote, but I just didn't think about it within this context. So the quote back from 2017 was, we have a contract with the people who go online with us, that we look after them, and they're within the PlayStation curated universe. Exposing what in many cases are children to external influences we have no ability to manage or look after. It's something we have to think about very carefully.
I remember that too.
Yeah. So I think when I read that before, it just sounded like a generic, we don't want to be friends with anyone. But yeah, I can see the validity of that in this kind of scenario. So they've not really done anything yet, but they've basically come out in solidarity with a statement saying that they're working together to have a standard across all of their platforms for online safety. So pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
people working together,
isn't it great?
Did you guys know, and this is just a tidbit fact, PlayStation, Sony, and Nintendo teamed up to make the first CD console, and Nintendo backed out, and that's how the PlayStation was created. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just trivia.
So I'll get you up to speed on the other things that I covered. I talked about It Takes Two. You didn't really see that, so you wouldn't have had much.
I missed it somehow. I saw the whole Game Awards, guys. I missed it completely.
I talked about Vin Diesel in Ark and Ark 2. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that. As he tries to compose his thoughts.
Why?
Yeah. Why Vin Diesel or why Ark 2?
Both.
Yes, both is the answer.
It's.
Did you look at the article though? He is the president of Creative Convergence at Studio Wildcard, the studio that makes Ark.
How do you get a job like that? Like,
he's Vin Diesel.
You know, that's fine. Yeah, he's Vin Diesel. Why? I really don't. I never played Ark. I actually own it for PlayStation 4. I bought it a long time ago. One of my buddies asked me to buy it, and I kind of wanted to play it, but I heard it wasn't really a great game to play, not only because of the bugs, but if you don't have other people to play it with. And unfortunately, there was not many people that I could play it with at the time. So I never actually booted up the game. But I did have it downloaded for about a week. And now I don't. So
nice.
We'll see what Ark 2 does. We'll see if it fixes all of the issues that Ark 1 still has.
Mm-hmm. I talked about
just
that.
DLC, but we'll see. We'll see. So
do you want to jump into Sephiroth Reveal or The Last of Us 2 Conspiracy?
We're gonna do Sephiroth first. We need some good news here. All right, guys. All right. So all right. Super Smash Brothers, a wonderful game. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate has characters from every universe coming in, and so everybody was thinking, who is it going to be this time? Is it going to be Crash Bandicoot? Is it going to be Sora from Kingdom Hearts? Gino, right? All these different crazy theories. Is it going to be finally Waluigi? Is
Master
the Mii
Chief
going to be broken? Please, if Master Chief comes out, I'm throwing my game into garbage.
You're just mad.
No, it's great. Because it wouldn't be a fun character.
If Snake can
he
get in,
shoots a gun and he has melee.
If Snake can get in, so can Master Chief.
Snake uses Nikita missiles. And these are things used in the actual.
You know how many different cool weapons Master Chief has? Plus, he has the grappling hook in the new one. They could probably incorporate that too.
Oh, great! So let's give him a grappling.
They have
hook.
all different kinds of armor abilities that they could.
Now we have
pull
Master
from.
Chief that has a stronger gun than Joker.
Look, you haven't played the games. You cannot appreciate.
What would his nair be? Just him jumping in the air? He wouldn't even kick. He can't even kick in the game. It would be terrible. Anyways, let's get into this. So, I heard a lot of people saying, well, it can't be Sora, guys, because Square Enix is never going to give up the rights to another character to Smash. Not give up the rights, but you know what I mean. Allow Smash to use the rights of another character. They're too iffy on that. And then all we heard was a shing. When he took the sword out of his sheath, it was shing. And then that moon thing, whatever it's called, I forgot. Whatever.
Galeem, the enemy of the game.
Nobody plays the single player. Gets cut in half. You played the single player.
I did. And it hurt me because I played it on hard.
I never actually went through the whole game.
Big mistake.
Regardless, I didn't know who it was because I was listening to it very quietly and I didn't hear the shing as it was coming out of the sheath, right? But then I saw his feet and I immediately stood up in the middle of my living room. I had my lasagna that I was eating on my lap and I stood up in the middle of the living room. My mother-in-law was on the phone FaceTiming with my wife. My wife turned the phone towards me to show her what her son-in-law was doing. And I was standing there and I said, don't speak for about 3 minutes. And then I watched New Main coming. Maybe.
New Main.
What do you think?
I wish I could have been one of the people that like knew it was Sephiroth as soon as I heard like the shing and like the Galeem get sliced in half.
I wish I had the sound turned up, because the sound of him stabbing somebody, that was in there at the beginning. And and not only that, the landscape, I should have known it's a specific landscape, and it just, all of that.
Yeah,
I was trying.
I thought it was really well done. I was excited for the people that would have been able to call it before it actually revealed him, or like notice from the music. Like I wasn't familiar with the music, but like if I was, like it got me so hyped. Like I thought it was funny, to be honest, that it was Sephiroth. Just the way they unveiled it, I thought was hilarious. Yeah. They did it like so anime, and Cloud's just down there. He's like, Sephiroth.
It's great, yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going to bring Smash despair.
I know, it's great. It was actually great, and I'm super hyped. Like I was not hyped about Steve. He's overpowered right now. His side B is just dumb, and so I'm excited to see this. Now I'm excited to see on the 17th, in 2 days, they're doing a little bit more about him. Whether he's going to actually come out on the 17th, there probably will. I'll tell you that.
Probably. I'm gonna look up what time that is while you keep talking.
Yeah, sure. So I'm excited to see what he's going to be all about, though. It looks like from the gameplay that we saw from him that he has his kind of like his original form, I guess you can say. And then something like Joker, who can get Arsene when he has a bar fill up. At one point, Sephiroth has wings that come out. Now, this is true to his form. And what was that?
5 p.m.
5? Yeah, so 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to get a really good look at what Sephiroth is going to be. And I honestly think 9 p.m. that night, we're going to see Sephiroth come out. That's my personal thoughts. I hope that's the case. I would love to be able to play him this week and be able to give you guys more of an in-depth look at Sephiroth next week. But I'm excited. I haven't been this excited about a DLC character yet, I don't think. I mean, Banjo was cool, but I never played Banjo and Kazooie, so...
Yeah,
Hero, his RNG was fun, but I didn't really care for it, right? Min, that was an exciting reveal because I liked ARMS, but it wasn't like I loved it. And Final Fantasy VII is a game near and dear to my heart, and so this is looking good. I'm excited for it. And if it's Sakurai just does such a good job with all of these DLC characters, so I'm very excited to see what he's going to look like and everything else. So it's going to be great.
Very good, very good.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Do you want to go first? I'm triggered.
Sure. So let's look at how many awards it won. First of all,
I'm so triggered right now.
Let's see. I think it won like 7 awards.
Guys, I am upset. Like Put the I am upset emotes in the chat because I am upset. It won 7 awards.
Something like that.
Guys, there were 3 things that was happening in chat other than DMCA. When Ghost of Tsushima won anything, deserved was put in the chat. When Nintendo showed anything at all, hashtag free melee came up. And now, when The Last of Us 2 won anything, the chat said hashtag rigged. Truth.
I think it won like, I'm trying to find.
It won a few. It won at least 4 awards.
Yeah, at least 4. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, neither of us played the game, but
no, but I played the first one. Mm-hmm. I read all of the reviews. I have a lot of friends that played the game as well. And I didn't play it for my own reasons. I've talked about why if I had the chance to play The Last of Us 1, great story, by the way, I wouldn't play it again, just for my own convictions. And that's okay. People have their different convictions and things like that on, and I just don't feel comfortable playing a game like that and putting that type of stuff in my home and allowing, that type of foothold to be put inside of my house. But The Last of Us 2, I read some reviews that were very good. However, most of the reviews, even though they were good reviews, they said there was always something, this isn't going in the right direction. The story isn't going in the right direction. The relationships were forced in the game. They weren't built like they were in the first one, like with Joel and Ellie. It wasn't, it was very forced in this game, all the relationships. The storyline didn't end in a way that people wanted it to end. You're going, I won't spoil it, but you're going to do this one thing and you get to the end and you have the chance to do it and you don't. Like,
it's one of those.
It's all
See,
these,
usually for me, that's a good story.
Yeah, but the way that people were putting it, it was like frustrating. It wasn't even like, hey, I wasn't expecting that, and that was a plot twist. Can't wait for the next one. It was more of like a frustrating moment. A lot of people were saying.
Yeah,
and like I said about,
I think
go ahead.
that kind of frustration can be good though. Like,
Sure.
I'm trying to think of an example from gaming or something else, but the one that I always think of was actually from the book 1984. That I actually loved. I read that book in high school. I actually loved it. Literally, not I literally loved it, but like literarily, literature. I loved the like. I loved it for its literature. I don't know how to say that, but like, so. Spoilers if you've never read it and you care, but basically 1984 is the whole like Big Brother thing where the government is watching everybody and you're following this one guy and he's like wondering if he should like rebel against the government, yada yada yada. And so like basically the whole book is setting it up for this guy to get found out and they'll kill him, but that's like he would win. Like personally for him, he would win in that case because he didn't give in to the government and he rebels, right? So like the whole book is setting you up for this guy to die. And then it gets to the end of the book and like they basically brainwash him to like listen to the government. And then he accepts the government and you're like, no. So like it's all setting you up for one thing, but then like, and it didn't happen and you hate that it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because he accepted it, but it's like it was so good. Like
I think there's such a fine line between the two. Like you're talking like I think like you could either do this right or you can do it wrong.
Sure.
In between. And I think the majority of people thought that The Last of Us 2 unfortunately did it the wrong way. And not only that, the forced relationships I was talking about before, it was they weren't relationships that developed. There were relationships that just out of nowhere happened. I was talking to Ace Wing, who has been on this show before. He was playing through the game and giving me a play-by-play while he was playing through it. Essentially, to like the next day, he'd be like, you know what? Right now, it's like an 8 out of 10. Then he got into 4 hours within the game, and he goes, "It's just going downhill." Gameplay is great. Gameplay is just like The Last of Us. You know, some improvements. The Last of Us had great mechanics, great gameplay, but he said the story is just lacking in so many areas. It doesn't make not that it didn't make sense, but everything was just, it seemed like they were trying too hard to force everything. There's nothing developing in the story. Things were just happening. There's just too much, he said. And so this leads me to our point with the Game Awards. Not one person. All right. Let me put this out there. I was wrong last week. I will say that. Apparently, it is not just player based or what is it called?
Voting based
on just the people that play games and stuff, which makes sense. You got to have some other people in there. Apparently, some of the awards, I think they're different. Some of them are like 10%. Your vote gets counted, and 90% is like critics, right?
Interesting.
And so the reason why they do this is so that exclusives can win awards too. Because if you think about it, you have something like somebody comes out with a great third-party game, but everybody can play it on the Switch, on PlayStation. A lot more
people are going to be able to vote for it.
Right. And that makes sense. You had 3 PlayStation exclusives up there, by the way. 3. That already tells you that one of them was going to win. Final Fantasy VII, you had Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us 2. So you have 3 exclusives.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't know they did it that way. That makes sense.
Naughty Dog bought out this show.
That's the conspiracy. Probably not.
Cannot. It had to have. There is not one person that I can think of that said this game was amazing other than an IGN. And let's just be honest here. That's not the greatest thing in the world, right? They gave it a 10 out of 10, so it was the best game ever. But then I started looking at like Metacritic. I started looking at other places, and people were just saying, this is not a good game. It's just, did they win? They won Best Direction?
I think.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I definitely think it was deserving of a few of the awards. Like I know it won the accessibility award.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, like I'm not somebody who needs those kind of features, so I can't really speak to that. But if it really did do the best to make the game accessible for all different kinds of people, then yeah, that's fantastic. It would deserve that award. And like I don't remember if it won like the soundtrack award or music award or whatever, but like
it won.
If it wants to win that, like that's fine.
It won audio design.
Sure, that's fair.
Narrative. Not even gonna go into narrative. Let's see. Innovation and accessibility, like you were just saying, that's like okay, right? It's okay to win that. It's okay to win audio. But when you start getting to things like narrative, you start getting things of the game of the year. You have to put somebody's opinion who actually is a gamer into this more than 10%. You have to, because it's not like.
So I think let me pull them all up so I can see them all.
This is like Cyberpunk winning next year Game of the Year, even though it's a broken game and you have to have a 3080 card just to be able to play through it with the majority of the bugs not being there.
Yes, like Cyberpunk 2076. I saw somebody did that. I thought it was amazing. But okay, so let's look at all of the nominees for Game of the Year. So we had Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Last of Us Part 2. Now,
yes,
I would argue that there's not like any like standout option here as far as like which one is going to win it. So
I
like,
agree.
I think all of them had something going against them, right? So Doom Eternal, probably a good game, but not like super amazing or anything. I was actually surprised to see it on nominated.
I was too.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, very good, but I think it could get a lot of flack in this category for being a remake, even though it's like
it's a different game.
It's very different, so yes. But I can see it getting a lot of flack for that.
About it. Yeah, a lot of people complained about it, and I don't agree with them, but right.
Yeah. So then we have Ghost of Tsushima, and honestly, this is the only other one that I would expect to win.
Should have won. I didn't vote for it, because I never played it. I think it should have won.
I think a lot of people didn't play it. It's PlayStation exclusive. And
even if a lot of people didn't play it, that's where it comes. Like The Last of Us 2 was also a PlayStation exclusive.
Hold on.
So I'm upset, guys.
So we had Hades, the indie game roguelike that I've heard very good things about. But at the end of the day, an indie game, smaller game. So it would be hard for it to win Game of the Year. Animal Crossing New Horizons.
One COVID game of the year.
It's Animal Crossing. I would have laughed if it won, but I didn't expect
it. If it won, I would have been. I would have been less triggered, but I still would have been a little bit triggered. I'll be honest here.
So then we have The Last of Us Part 2, which was very divisive on whether or not people liked it. You either loved it or you hated it.
It wasn't divisive. That's the problem. 5% of people like this game.
Loved it.
You don't know good people.
Oh, but okay. So anyway, what I'm getting at here is, I think it came down to Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2. Right. It was like those would be the only two options, and neither. I know you don't like Last of Us 2. I probably wouldn't like it either if I knew more about it, but I'm sure it was kind of on the same field where it's like, yeah, it's not really amazing, but we have to pick something, so we'll pick Last of Us 2. I feel like it was kind of one of those scenarios.
I don't know. The only reason why I don't think that's what it was is just because I heard so many good things about Ghost of Tsushima. So many.
And see, I heard a lot of bad things about Ghost of Tsushima. Not like a ton of bad things, like the game was bad, but that it had a lot of like kind of core issues with it. Even though it was a good game.
Sure. It's a Sucker Punch game. There's going to be core. I'll be honest. There's going to be core issues with Sucker Punch.
What else did they make?
It's what is it called? I can think of the title. Second Son. What is it called?
Infamous Second Son.
Yeah, Infamous,
I never
the
played
Infamous
that.
series. So there's Infamous, Infamous 2, Infamous Second Son.
I
Good
watched a
game, by the
speed
way.
run for one of those one time. I think
It
it looks
Infamous
fun.
Second Son. It is fun, but it's very. It's over too quickly. I get, and also just kind of the way they went
They
about it.
also
I
made
didn't like.
Sly Cooper,
Hey, Sly Cooper
but
for
yeah,
all
it doesn't
those
look like they've
boomers
made
out
like
there.
a ton of stuff.
But yeah, so there's going to be core issues, right? And I think there's core issues with every developer, no matter what it is. But I feel like The Last of Us 2 did not deserve really any of these awards, especially when they talk about narrative and the game direction
Yeah,
that
let's
it's
see
going
what
in.
else was up for narrative. So the other things that were up for narrative were Hades, Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and 13
Wow.
Sentinels Aegis Rim. Okay, so I don't know 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim.
And honestly,
but
I will say this. In defense of Final Fantasy VII Remake, nobody knows where this is going, and people are perplexed right now and think it's in another timeline of Final Fantasy. Like this is okay for me, right? It's going in a good direction. People are excited. Nobody is excited about The Last of Us 3 because of the way it ended. Nope. They're going to be in for a surprise when that game comes out, and they're not like making as much money as they did on this game. This game was super hyped because of The Last of Us 1.
Mm-hmm.
It got, honestly, if it didn't, it should get Game of the Decade. Like, it was a good game. I wouldn't play it again for reasons, but it was a great game, great narrative, great story, great everything. What happened, Neil?
What happened? Yeah. But yeah, so with the best narrative category up against a lot of the same games. Now, narrative could be argued a lot differently than just game of the year, but
Sure.
Maybe it was just kind of that same thing where it's like, well, we have to pick something. Best game direction, again, a lot of the same ones. We have Final Fantasy VII, we have Ghost of Tsushima, we have Hades, and then Half-Life Alyx, apparently. Been cool.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I really don't know.
I think it was just the fact that Half-Life didn't originate as a VR game, and so they kind of reimagined it for VR. So I think that's where the best direction kind of came in for that.
I do want to say something here. One more thing that I was triggered about. Let's get off The Last of Us 2 for a second. All right.
Sure.
Most anticipated game. Let me give you guys the options. Elden Ring, Halo Infinite, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War sequel, Resident Evil Village, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. I've heard of all of these games except for Elden Ring.
Elden Ring is the new From Software game.
That's great. Oh, okay. So that really?
Yeah. So that's actually huge.
Why are they not making a Bloodborne 2? But regardless, I still think, I don't know, God of War sequel and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel, like these two games, both of those games were game of the year. Like Bloodborne was not game of the year. They're like From Software games are good, but they're not game of the year. And I just feel like it probably shouldn't have won most anticipated game.
I'm trying to find
I don't think it is
most anticipated category so that I can look at them all. How far down is it?
Not that far.
I don't know why
it's
I
like
can't find it.
Third or fourth. I might be on a completely different site.
Are you on the Game Awards site? I'm on the Game Awards site.
No, I'm on variety.com. Hashtag. I guess variety.com. Never even heard of it. But there's a lot. I can send it to you, I guess.
Here we go. Okay, so we got Elden Ring, which did win. God of War sequel, Halo Infinite, Breath of the Wild sequel, Resident Evil Village, Horizon Forbidden West. Okay, I just needed to like visualize them.
Right. I don't know.
I mean,
it was weird. It was weird.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
I think anything could have won it.
You have two games that won Game of the Year. And you're telling me that you're going to take out the players' votes that much so that you can have things that are exclusives win? You're telling me The Last of Us 2 is going to win, but you're not going to make Breath of the Wild sequel? I don't know. I mean,
so I think this is a kind of like the opposite of the whole Game of the Year scenario, where the Game of the Year scenario seemed like well, none of these are really stellar, but we got to pick something. Whereas this one seemed more like there's several on this that like would be well deserving of this win. So like, it is Elden Ring maybe the most deserving, maybe not. But I could see it winning for sure.
True.
Other heavy hitters are, of course, the God of War sequel, Breath of the Wild sequel, Horizon Forbidden West, maybe Halo Infinite a little bit.
They're all big games.
And then I know a lot of people love Resident Evil.
Yeah. Halo Infinite, it is anticipated. I think it's only up there because it's going to be free for a lot of people. The multiplayer anyways, but we'll see. So
yeah, so
definitely interesting.
I think there were a lot of heavy hitters on that one. And I think Elden Ring's deserving of it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Another From Software game. I'm always down for that.
When is Bloodborne 2 going to come out?
Maybe
That's all people want right now. You know, Bloodborne 2. It's called Sekiro. You know, I
still need to play Sekiro. I need to get it.
I have it, but do you want to play in 30 frames per second?
No, ew.
Honestly, it wasn't horrible. I liked the challenge of the game. I just didn't like the direction. I shouldn't say the direction. Let's get off direction.
I didn't like the relationships. They felt forced.
Listen, the relationships in that game, they have to be forced. But I didn't like that there was no direction. And what I mean by that is actual physical. Give me like
that's
what
I love about Dark Souls. Like
Bloodborne. I understood Bloodborne. This game, you have to find like 8 things just to fight one boss to be able to move on in the story. And I even had my mods, shout out Mordicus, looking up walkthroughs while I'm playing the game. And he said, nobody has been able to make a map of this game, and it's been out for 2.5 years. Like that's a problem. That's an issue. So I don't know.
See, that sounds cool to me, but
maybe I'll try it again. It just frustrated me beyond belief because at one point I had gone everywhere that I could possibly go. I killed everything I could possibly kill. And then I get to the point that's like, what do I need? You need these 8 items. Okay, where are they? I'm not too sure. Wonderful. I even looked up walkthroughs, guys. I looked up walkthroughs. Nothing. So.
All right. Well, was there anything else? The Game Awards that we wanted to touch on? Was there any other kind of games announcements or anything that stuck out to you?
Trying to look through them all really quickly. I thought it was interesting that what do you call it? No Man's Sky, one ongoing game.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Honestly, I probably won't ever play it again because I still am upset with Sean Murray from the beginning of that game and lying. But other than that, I mean, good job. He got a lot of hate the day after, apparently. Among Us won a couple of things as well, which was pretty cool. Fall Guys even won a community support game, which that was should it have maybe
I think so.
Not.
Just because
the
of the whole
fell
like
off.
Well, sure, but if you think about like community support, like everybody and their mom was throwing skin designs at this game.
That's true.
Everyone.
Now, here's my question. It didn't win. But why was Animal Crossing under the multiplayer category? Can we talk about this for
like the social experience? Because like you can send letters to and items to each other. Like you can.
But then why was it under put my email under the multiplayer category at that point, like my email address, because it literally it's not a multiplayer game. Like I get it, the social, I can go fishing with my buddy. That's so awesome. But I can go fishing with my buddy in any game. I can even do it IRL. Let's put the IRL category under the multiplayer category and just call it a day. It didn't win. Thank you, somebody. There you go. But it won Family Game. I thought that was okay.
Sure.
I was very happy that Paper Mario Origami King did not win Family Game. Okay, one more thing that I wanted to mention. Sports racing game.
I loved this. I
played Tony Hawk 1 and 2. My childhood. Hours built on doing the most. I one time did over 100 900s in a row. just doing it just because I love the game so much. It should not have won Sports Racing Game of the Year of 2020. This game, it wasn't even a remake, guys. It was a remaster. There's nothing new.
I thought it was hilarious that it won because it barely fit into the category.
Well, no, it didn't. It's not even that it did barely fit in. Like pro skating, like that's a real sport.
Yeah, but it's definitely not the first thing that you think of.
Well, in that day and age, it was though. Like when I was
sure. Yeah,
like,
skateboarding used to be huge.
Came out. It was first it was big in the 80s, and then it had like a resurgence when I was in middle school for some reason. I don't even know why. Middle school into high school, I had a major resurgence.
That's true.
And it's kind of gone down at this point. But it was a game that was made literally, what was it, the 90s?
I don't know.
I think the first one came out in the 90s.
I thought it was funny just because it was like
20. It's 20 years later.
One of these things is not like the other scenario, and the one that was not like the others one.
So regardless, Dirt 5, F1 2020, which is a racing game. You have FIFA 21 and NBA 2K21. I think, honestly, even though I will never play any of those games, one of those should have won. I don't even care which one should have won. Just one of those.
One of the racing games, not the I get triggered with the sports games because they're like the exact same thing every year. So I don't think, like, if you enjoy them, that's fine. But I don't think any of them deserve to win it because they're like the same thing every year.
It's not though. It's not like they do make a lot of changes in them and a lot of different modes and stuff like that, which is fine. But yeah, and you can say it's the same thing every year, but this is literally the same exact game remodeled.
Also true.
So
yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was funny, but
I don't know. Anyways, regardless of that. Okay.
So, anything else you wanted to touch on?
Not from the Game Awards. No,
gotcha.
Not from the Game Awards. I think I've gotten all my triggeredness out. You guys know where I stand on pretty much everything here.
Did you want to talk about Cyberpunk 2076 at all?
Yeah. So where did you see this?
It was literally just on Twitter. Somebody posted, they were like, after like 14 hours or something, I forget what it was. After 14 hours of Cyberpunk, this is my review. And it was an image that just said Cyberpunk 2076, but it was stylized like the Fallout 76 logo.
Oh my gosh.
So for those of you that don't really get that, basically Fallout 76 was a notoriously broken and buggy game when it released, and probably
not only
is,
buggy, but like people just didn't like it because of the way, like, it was supposed to be a Bethesda game, and it was not playing like a Bethesda game. The bugs, okay, that's Bethesda. That's
but it was
Bethesda,
real bad. It was
unplayable,
real bad. So
it was unplayable.
Basically, what it is here is like Cyberpunk 2076. It's because Cyberpunk is really buggy. But
so essentially, if you guys don't know, Cyberpunk 2077 came out just a few days ago. Honestly, 5 days ago. Lots of reviews coming out about it. People are saying it's a really great RPG. The content in it, once again, iffy, so I won't play it personally. But a lot of people saying it's a great RPG if you can actually play it. A lot of people are having issues on their PCs playing it with their specs not being high enough. And then, unfortunately, they are also giving out refunds to people who have bought the game because it's so broken, especially PlayStation 4 and Xbox One users.
Have you seen any clips of it?
I have not, but I did read a review.
Horrible.
I read a review, and the guy said in the review, he said, Cyberpunk 2077 is a wonderful game. If you are planning on buying this game for the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, don't do it. It's not a good experience. It's broken. He said and so
I saw one clip, and like the textures look like watercolor, and there's like horrible like pop in like all over the place.
Here's my issue. This game has been in development for 10 years. The entire life cycle.
I think it's more like 7.
So, okay, even worse.
They announced it 10 years ago, but they didn't actually start it until they finished Witcher 3. So
this is even worse then. because literally it was being made for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Like, this is what it was made for, and it still can't run on those. That's a problem. Like that. You and this isn't just like
and
a fixable like
it was supposed to
day
release
one patch
earlier in the year too, before the new consoles even came out.
It got 952 delays, and this is the reason why. And they are saying, and this is an issue too. They're saying they weren't pressured. They didn't feel any unusual pressure. That's what they said in their article. They didn't feel unusual pressure from the higher ups to be able to get the game out for the holidays, essentially. If you weren't under unusual pressure, why is it this bad? Like,
I heard that they were pressured.
I did too, but I read an article that they came out with, like the developers came out and they said they did not feel unusual pressure. And I'm baffled. How can you do this?
Yeah.
I understand.
Did you hear about the review kind of fiasco? Like their review requirements?
About the specs that you needed?
No. So like basically, anyone doing a review of Cyberpunk before release or like on day of release, like they were only allowed to review the PC version of the game. They were not allowed. Nobody was sent console review codes to be able to review it on console.
And that's sketchy.
Yeah.
Because they made back all of their money on pre-order sales. So literally, you're not allowed to review it on the consoles that's broken on, and now you got to give a lot of money back. Like, there's a lot of people asking for refunds. This is kind of like No Man's Sky.
A little bit. Fallout 76.
So, No Man's 76.
No Man's. No Cyberpunk 2076.
No Cyberpunk Sky. This is we just had these three games. They're just merging. But yeah, this is an issue though. So
it's sad, honestly.
It is. The only company that I can trust at this point to come out with a game where I don't feel like it needs to be patched day one at this point is Nintendo. Nintendo has always given, and yeah, there's problems. Okay, Breath of the Wild, right? You walk into the Lost Woods and you have the frame rate drops a little bit and the grass is popping in all over the place as you're walking along. I can deal with that. This is not a game-breaking bug. But then you have like all these delays from all these developers, and you still get a broken piece of garbage that now they're offering refunds for. What is going on with developers, guys? It is. So I just want, and PlayStation, their exclusives, they do well with. They're normally not broken on day one, but like Ubisoft, EA has issues a lot of times. It's hard. It's rough days.
For sure. It's sad. I wish I could play Cyberpunk, to be honest, because it looks really cool, but obviously there's a lot of like not good content from what I've heard. And I would encourage you guys to look into that if you are thinking about picking up Cyberpunk. There's a lot of mature content in this game, and a lot of it is unavoidable. A lot of it's just kind of baked into the main story.
And they even said they baked it into the main story because they knew it would sell better if they put this stuff in there. See, and like, let's be honest, Witcher 3, it was similar to an extent.
Wasn't it like mostly side stuff?
It was, but there were, I think, if I remember correctly, there were main missions where you had to go around those areas and things would happen. Gotcha. So yeah, it's not as like,
I know there was a mod for Witcher 3 that ended up being made that like censored everything. Really? So like if something like that came out for Cyberpunk, I'd totally be down to play it with that mod. But
yeah, but even like it's weird because like the city is based around this.
Yeah, but so like obviously the mod would have to do a very good job. It would have to do a lot. It would.
Yeah.
But that would be the only way that I'd be willing to play it, unfortunately, which is a shame because like it looks really cool. Like I just want to walk around in the city. It looks awesome.
CD Projekt Red is just it's known for this ever since they started making games. These types of things are in all of their games, and this one just went very overboard in my opinion in what they were doing. But
and like apparently
is.
that's like it's like supposed to be like that because like apparently Cyberpunk 2077 was like a really old like game or something like that where it had like an identity already to it, and so this was like they were just bringing it into the modern world, and apparently a lot of that like mature content was already a part of the world. So it's not like they just like threw all that into it, as far as I understand. I could be wrong, but that's my knowledge. So like I get it, but like really like
there's a lot of stuff in there, so just be careful of that. I'd recommend not playing it from just my own standpoint, but that's up to your discretion.
I wish I could just play all the games, but they gotta throw trash in it and they gotta make them buggy. Like shame.
Real buggy. Real buggy. So do we want to talk about Christmas this week?
We can leave it to next week.
Couple minutes? We could leave it till next week.
Since that'll be closer to Christmas anyway.
We can do that. We'll have to put on less topics next week because we kind of overdo the topics, and then we can't get to the Christmas topic that we've been trying to get.
We'll make sure we leave time for Christmas talk.
Next week we will only do like a couple topics. Honestly, the 2 weeks in a row I've been triggered.
What were you triggered about last week? I forget.
It was game developers in general. Oh, and Nintendo.
Yeah. Hashtag free melee.
Dude, honestly, Sephiroth redeemed part of my faith in them. Small part.
I mean, ultimately, the Smash team probably doesn't have a whole lot to do with the stuff. But.
You're right. You're right.
I would say Sakurai maybe did, because I know back in the day, he in particular didn't really like the competitive scene, but I know he's like really come around to it a lot more. So I don't think he would necessarily have any problems with like the mods or stuff. He kind of had an issue with like the competitive aspect of Smash Bros, but I know he's come around to that a lot. And he's like actually attended a lot of the new tournaments and like presented awards at some of them. So that's
pretty cool. That's neat.
So not like a lot of the new tournaments. Well, let's not exaggerate that, but like a couple or something.
Yeah. Before we get into what we've been playing and stuff like that, just a little piece of trivia. I was telling Unworthy Seraph this week, Solid Snake being in Super Smash Brothers is actually interesting. His first appearance was in Super Smash Brothers Brawl that came out on the Wii a long time ago. Super slow game. Man, was that a change from Melee? Anyways, the only reason why Solid Snake made it into the game, I thought it was because recently that Solid Snake had made an appearance on the GameCube. Because, to be honest, you got to give some rights away when it was a PlayStation exclusive to be able to have a game made on GameCube, even though it was very similar to the very first Metal Gear Solid. Apparently, Hideo Kojima and Sakurai are very good friends, and Kojima went to Sakurai and begged him, pleaded with him. He loves Super Smash Brothers, and he wanted Snake to be in the game, and begged and begged and begged. And Sakurai one day said, "Okay, I will do this for you." And we have Solid Snake, and now Kojima has nothing to do with Solid Snake, and there's a movie coming out.
Phil Spencer just needs to go to Sakurai and be like, "Please, please, please, Master Chief."
No. Well, true. But here's interesting, and you will like this, Seraph. The developers of Ori, they want Ori in Smash more than anything in the world. They have already stated multiple times, if Sakurai calls us on the phone, Ori will be in Smash.
Who wouldn't say that? Like,
I know.
Everyone wants that.
Like they're publicly saying, please call us. Like and Ori, honestly, not a well-known character in the gaming. Like not a lot of people have played. I haven't even played Ori, but I watched Unworthy Seraph play it, and honestly, it would be a cool character. It would be different. I don't know. I think it would.
I mean, Sakurai can do anything, I guess.
With what Sakurai did with Steve, and now I hate playing against Steve. They need to nerf him in a couple of different ways, but I hate playing against Steve. But he made it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess Sakurai can do anything. But
so
I feel like it'd be more of like a spirit or assist trophy kind of thing, like Shovel Knight, you know.
That's what other people want. People want Shovel Knight.
But see, like, I feel like it'd be even harder to make a moveset for Shovel Knight.
No, he's got magic moves. He's got all sorts of things going on.
Thought it was just like jumping.
He's got like a
shovel.
He's got like a super bouncy ball that he throws at people. It's really neat, actually. It's honestly Shovel Knight. I'm gonna stream it one day. Getting into live topics. I have Shovel Knight on the Switch. I have all of the extended versions. I got really close to beating the game, but I never did. So I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 lately. The 5.4 patch came out. It is outstanding. The 4 new raids, outstanding. The Unreal Titan, I haven't played it, but I watched it. Outstanding. The Emerald raid, the whole game is just outstanding. I've been playing a lot of that game. Excited about it. Excited where it's going. 5.5 patch is coming out early next year. And then we're going to finally have the reveal early next year of what the next expansion is going to be. So I'm excited for it. Very excited. So that's why I've been playing a lot lately. Haven't been streaming. I'm sorry.
I haven't either.
I made a schedule.
I streamed the Game Awards, and that was basically all I've done in the past 2 months.
I've had a lot of personal things going on in my life lately that I've had to attend to. And so I have not been streaming lately. Hopefully I'll be able to get back on the grind early next year. That's what I'm hoping for. Mid-January, maybe beginning of February, get back into streaming regularly. But until then, you might see me pop on a couple times. But until then, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But
yeah. But yeah, I've just been mostly playing Warframe here and there. Still love it. Still great. There's gonna be a new event coming soon. Could be good. I actually played Fall Guys last night a good bit because they were doing the double EXP before season 3. So I was trying to grind and get as many crowns from the battle pass as I could. So I got I'm up to 9 crowns now. I believe only
you buy Godzilla.
I believe only 2 of which are actual wins. But no, I just want the Sonic skin. That's all I want. You can't buy it right now. Is it
still out?
No, they haven't brought it back since the first time. But
I have the top piece.
But I want to get enough crowns so that when they bring it back, I can get it. So I've got 9. I need 1 more, and then I'll be able to get the Sonic skin when they bring that back. And then I'll be done. Like I'll be like, this is great. Fantastic.
Fall Guys was a great game, but
no, I might still play it every now and then, but I will have
Sonic skin is the final boss.
No further desire to grind for skins. I'll be done.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But I'm excited because they're always doing new things with this game, new seasons and stuff like that.
They have a lot
honestly,
of really cool looking levels.
The
for
winter season, it looks fun, and
cool.
Honestly, it looks pretty too. Like it's not just kind of like this new one. It was a cool season, neat new maps and stuff. But this looks pretty. Like this looks good. Nice. So it's exciting. I only played it a couple times during Waymaker week. All right, guys, we're gonna change gears here and play
A-Swing, I think, is actually playing it right now.
Fall Guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he actually told me he was gonna be playing it today. So neat.
But yeah, that's pretty much
it. You guys don't know who A-Swing is? Amazing guy. You guys should check him out.
I think he's streaming right now.
He is.
Go say hi. Tell him the YokeTalk sent you.
Hey.
But I think that's it. We're a little over time already. You have any parting words for the Yokers out there?
Guys, just message the Game Awards, who could technically get banned by Twitch right now for DMCA problems, but we'll see if that happens. Amen. Amen.
We only play copyright-free music here on the YokeTalk. There will be no DMC takedowns for the YokeTalk. They can't stop us.
They can't stop us. Well, I mean,
they could ban us for other reasons, I guess, but not anything that would be valid. They have no
reason. It would be one of those things like when you sign a contract, it's like we could fire you for whatever reason we want with no reason at all. They could do that, but for DMCA reasons, got nothing on us.
Nothing on us.
Us YokeTalks.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from, but all right, all you Yokers out there, you have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you back next time for one more YokeTalk before Christmas, and we'll be talking about all the Merry Christmas things. Maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll be talking Christmas. What about Christmas? I don't know. You'll have to tune in to find out, everybody. So goodbye. Take care.